All right, back again. Nate's in the house from the dead south. What's going on, man?
Just getting ready to leave again, actually.
In and out the door.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you decided to sit down here and chat with me a little bit. For anyone listening, a lot of what we talked about was kind of the beginnings of the dead south and how you got into music. So if anyone wants to backtrack through the episodes, all that stuff is still obviously relative to what's going on now. But today, I want to hear about some new stuff. I know there's a new album in the works.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. And once again, I told you in person when I saw you down in Louisville. Congrats on the playing at the Mother Church there at the Ryman.
Oh,
Uh,
thanks. That was amazing. Really
yeah,
happy with that.
we'll have to come back to that because I got some questions about that. But let's start about this new music that I'm hearing about.
Yeah, sure. Well, we were really getting ready to want to record a new album during COVID, um, but for some reason we just couldn't really find the time. So we had thrown together a couple of projects over COVID where we did the covers albums just for something fun to do. We did them all ourselves. It's had a fun time doing that. And then once COVID, we got the green light that we could start touring again. We just lost time because we had to make up for 18 months of shows. And then we were kind of idiots. We hadn't toured in so long that we decided to add more shows. So we were just playing nonstop ever since we got back on the road again. Um, but in that meantime, I had written a song or two with a bunch of ideas over COVID, and some of the other guys had too. And we came up with the idea to record an album, and the initial idea was to record in Iceland, actually, because they had some sort of grant there where they would cover a portion of your recording project. So we thought that would be pretty
Oh,
cool.
really?
Yeah, so we were kind of gunning towards that, and then all of a sudden we got a suggestion to go check out Mexico. So our manager Chris and myself, we went to Monterrey first because there's a bunch of norteño music there, like northern country music there. So we're checking that out, and then someone said, since you guys are here, you might as well take or head down to Mexico City and check that out because it's a pretty amazing place. We were there for a day, not even, and it was awesome. So we went back to the guys and said Mexico City looks pretty awesome. And then that was it. We ended up recording in Mexico City and sitting down and coming up with a bunch of tunes.
That's awesome. So it just sounded like it was a perfect fit, really, walking down in there.
It was. I mean, Mexico City's it's massive. There's like 20 plus million people in Mexico City, but it's so widespread. So where we were, Condesa, it didn't seem that busy at all. It seemed pretty chill. A lot of good food around, really nice vibe, good weather. It was excellent.
You gotta have good food. I'll tell
Oh
you,
yeah,
that's how you get your mind right in the studio.
absolutely.
That's great. So you already had like the majority of these songs written before going in, or did you like kind of just have the pieces, and then you kind of made it whole while you were there in the studio?
For some, they were further along than others. We had like two or three that were looking pretty good, and then a lot of pieces. So we actually went down a month before we went down to record just to check it out and do some pre-recording, pre-production stuff, check out the studio, make sure everyone's enjoying it. And we sat down there, got some more work done, and then when we went home for that time in between, it was basically time to just get everything going. So then we were a little further along, and then at the studio, we definitely put some stuff together, stuff that was not even close to being ready. We just threw it out. So
Hey, that's sometimes that's the best way.
can be, yeah.
So you don't, a lot of you could easily overthink something and kind of overdo it, but some of those last minute deals, it just comes out. And you're just amazed at yourself, really. Sometimes,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. Yeah, I always find the whole. I'll ask every artist on here, like the behind the scenes aspects of all this, like in the studio. Everyone works differently, and then the writing process is all over the place depending on who you talk to. So I always find that interesting when I ask. Um, How many tracks are we talking?
We have 13 tracks. Three of them are more on the instrumental side, as in no vocals at all, and then 10 of them have are full out songs with vocals and all.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Do we have a working title, or is that
we
under
do.
wraps?
No, I think we can say the title. It's gonna be called Chains and Stakes. And if I hear within the next few minutes of us talking that I can't release the title, I'll let you know. You can just bleep it out.
Yeah, I'll edit it out. Chains and stakes. Cool. Um, so like you said, you've been on the road hardcore. Last time we spoke, it was right before Easy Listening for Jerks. We talked about that, and you making up all these dates that you were just talking about. I was one of those dates. I think I held a ticket for, I don't know, like right when COVID hit. It felt like I had held that ticket for 2 years or something crazy.
Yeah,
But
that was a weird time, man. I mean, yeah, some people had it for 2 years. So in that time, we started playing again in September 2021. So you're battling with people who don't want to go out. You're battling with people who had tickets, but the dates moved so many times that they can't make it anymore. They forgot about it, or they passed away. Like, like a
yeah,
lot can happen in 2 years, right?
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. But we made it out, and that was awesome. Me and the wife went. Um, and I tell people this all the time. There's certain I go to a lot of shows, obviously, for this whole podcast, but even before that, since I was a kid, just concerts constantly. And yours is your what you guys do. It's one of those shows where you don't miss. Like, so when you come to town or even close, like I came down to Louisville, I'll make sure, to go out of the way to make those shows. There's like a handful of bands I'll do that with. And I think your guys' live performance is up there,
Oh,
people
thanks.
can, and it shows. I mean, the people, we go, the people are just having a blast.
That's what we hope for, anyways. We
And
hope
it's
we
all
can.
ages too, it's a variety.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we enjoy when everyone can come, kids to however old you are. And then it gets tough when you play in some venues and they don't allow all ages,
Yeah,
because then you're turning some people away who really want to see you. So
right.
it is, but it still sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Obviously, last time I got to see you just a little bit after the show, before I had to leave. But just seeing the team you had putting all that together, how many guys are working on like a project to put on a live show for you guys?
Um,
You got
quite a few.
lights, sound, all that crazy stuff.
Yeah, we got lights. We got a sound engineer. We got our stage monitor tech. We got a instrument tech. We got a second lighting tech to help out and stage manager. And we got a merch seller and a tour manager. Yeah.
Than you four.
And then us four. So there's 11 on the road with us. And then sometimes others you add in here's and there's.
Right,
Like if someone's trying to catch some footage or, take photos. Sometimes they'll
right.
travel with us too.
Awesome.
Hmm.
Yeah, it just sounds like a constant roller coaster of a good time.
Always, yeah.
uh, since we're on the subject of live shows, how I noticed you guys got a little emotional about that playing at the Ryman. Was that like something you dreamed about as a kid growing up or something, or just excited to know that your career's made it this far, and it's not easy. Everyone's trying to make it.
I'd say a little bit of both. I mean, I've been wanting to play the Ryman for a long time, and so have the other guys, and then just getting there is exceptional. We still can't believe that, but no, I got emotional. I wasn't expecting to get emotional. It was when we went to go start the show, and they wouldn't let us start because they just kept cheering and applauding, and then they get louder and louder. So it started out with everyone. We walked out and we started playing a little bit, and then I went up to go sing, and everyone just started roaring. And then I kind of backed off the mic, and then everyone stood up and roared even louder, and it was like a few minutes of that. And then all of a sudden, this wave just hit me, and my eyes just started leaking a bit. And I was like, "Oh fuck, guys, I don't know."
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was. It was something else.
It kind of reminds me of like that old school story, and I don't know if the number is exactly right, but when you hear like when Hank Williams played the Opry for the first time or something like that, he played the same song. I forget which one, like 7 encores in a row, and
Yeah,
everyone was
bro.
just as excited to hear it every time.
Yeah, I love that.
You just get up there and play, and hell will be good company like over and over and over. uh, that's awesome. So, what you got? Some other bucket list places you want to play? I mean, you guys have been all over the world.
Yeah, we've crossed off a few, and a few more to come for sure. Um, I mean, the bucket list doesn't really end at the
Yeah,
end of the
it
day.
just changes after you cross a few and be like, all right, what's next?
Yeah, pretty much, because it's we like to leave just like an open door here, where it's like how far can we go with these things? Like, where can we play? Where can it take us? We don't expect anything. We're the kind of guys that are just one foot in front of the other and just keep running,
Yeah,
seeing where that
yeah.
leads us. So it's I don't know. I'm excited to play Red Rocks again when that day comes. We've been had a couple kind of offers come through, and we've always been busy, which is unfortunate. So hopefully we can line something up there, and then it would be amazing to be able to headline Red Rocks one day as well, and places of that caliber and size.
I think you will.
That'd be
I
awesome.
really think that will happen. So,
That'd be amazing.
how was under the big sky? I
Oh,
was
it
so
was
sad I couldn't make it, man. I
yeah. It was amazing. The weather was hot. It was a really hot day. The music was amazing. The only tough thing is that we played the same time as Zach Bryan, so it's like you're
oh
playing.
yeah.
We're kind of we're headlining one stage and he's headlining the main stage, and it's split like that. And it's about a 15-minute walk from stage
Oh
to
really?
stage. Yeah. So
So was it kind of like staggered, like time slot? Did you start a little bit earlier or something
yeah,
like
people play on the half hour kind of thing, and you
that?
play for
Okay,
an hour long. So we were at 9 and he started at 9:30. So
gotcha.
the saddest part about all that was just not being able to see a full set of people if you wanted to, and having to juggle your time. But other than that, it was great. Really nice to be there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
beautiful setting, so nice.
Oh, the photos and stuff. I had an invite on a media pass after the fact when I had already saw that how fast it sold out, and I was like, man, because I was planning on going, and then it sold out like instantly. So I was like, yeah, didn't think about it, and then the media pass came like a few weeks later on that offer. But I had already made my own show here locally for an event I was going to throw, so I was like, I'm not backing out of
Yeah, I can't back out.
that. But there's always next year.
Absolutely. Who'd you have playing at your event?
Nolan Taylor headlined full band. Jason Day West and my buddy Vaden Landers from North Carolina came up.
Nice.
So it was a good time. Benjamin Todd snuck in the back door during the last set. No one knew he was coming. Surprised
Nice.
us all, and they all crashed at the house. And we just hung out. It was a good time.
Oh,
So
that's great.
yeah, um,
Be good.
awesome.
And then we're gonna release this album in January, and then the whole cycle starts again, where it's just hitting everything.
Okay, so we can expect the new year to start out with some new tunes. That's awesome.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Is there anything we should expect that's a little different or something that, I mean, you guys throw any curveballs in there that in the record itself, or maybe some features or just anything different?
Yeah, I don't know. Songs are always kind of evolving, and I'd say that there's a couple on this new album that kind of remind us a little bit of Good Company again, which is cool. It's like a little taste of that with where we are now. Um, the instrumentals are really cool. Two of them, Scott wrote two of them just on the guitar, just fiddling around in his living room all the time, and they sound really cool. They're a different sound for sure. And no features on this one. We had talked about that a little bit, but decided to keep it just us four for this.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, nothing really huge in terms of curveballs, but hoping people enjoy it, whatever it is,
Yeah. Same instrumentation, no new instruments or okay.
Same instrumentation. Yeah.
I know I talk to Colton every now and then about banjo stuff, and I think he said he had maybe some two finger action going on a couple tunes, possibly.
Not yet. He's
No.
been working on that. He
Okay.
just started really getting into the two finger style as well. So the next album after that, he'll get some two finger style from him, and so yeah, his toolbox is just getting huge on his
Yeah.
versatility on banjo.
Yeah. He can mix and match and do his own thing with it. Uh, he
It's
just
pretty
he
nuts,
just needs
really.
to make a whole banjo record himself on the side.
I honestly, he could easily do that because there's an instrumental piece on here where he only took a blurb of an entire piece he wrote, and it's basically like a classical piece on a banjo that he wrote years ago, and it's
Really.
so freaking good. I was like, man, we have to figure out how to put this on the album. I was hoping he'd do the whole thing, but he just took a little bit of it, and I'm happy I got that out of him. So maybe one day we'll get the full piece, and then yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure he'll do a banjo album one day. It's
Yeah.
just yeah, he's just too good not to.
That reminds me, and I should probably message him. I went to a banjo Midwest camp this summer to learn a little bit, but also to cover what was going on there. But one of the instructors there, his name's Michael Miles, and he's kind of done something no one's really done before. He went back to uh, Mozart and reconfigured all that music into banjo format.
Oh hell yeah!
So I mean, he was on some other podcasts, and like it's like kind of groundbreaking, really, I guess if you could say. But I talked to him a little bit. I bet Colton would love to hear what he's got to say. Since you mentioned the word classical.
100%. Yeah, Cole would love that.
Yeah, it's wild. But there's so much out there you can do.
It is. Yeah, classical music's amazing. I don't know if you listen to much of it, but it's incredible. Just thinking how people can sit down and decide to write. I'm going to write a symphony today, and you're just working out parts for all these different instruments, and you hear what instrument needs to be playing what parts, and how detailed that gets. Oh,
Yeah,
it's just wild. Yeah.
yeah. Talk about a project, man. You kind of got to start like if it was me, I would just start small and just like compile,
Hmm.
re-listen, and go back and add things and change things and all that. But uh, I'll tell you what would be really cool thinking like that would score a movie.
Oh,
That would
that's
be
I
epic,
would
I think.
love to do that. We've thrown that out to a couple of people. Just like if anyone's looking for us to score a movie, we're always just like we would love to do that.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it would be.
Uh, I went to school for photography, but I did several like editing classes for film and that too. But there was a couple weeks where I just strictly dealt with audio stuff, and that was kind of some of the projects. They're like they'd give you like when soundtrack came out 10 years ago or whatever, they would give you like the trailer with no audio, and they're like build the audio for this.
That's so
I was
sweet.
like, it was only like 2 minutes, but you spent like days trying to figure out something that looked cool,
Yeah.
and that was fun. I really enjoyed that. Uh, I don't know, just there's just so many ways. But the classical stuff, I think what gets people, at least for me, is and all music really is just the feeling, or just how do you make someone feel something, and
Hmm.
you can do that with symphony, I'm sure.
Oh, big time. I'm a sucker for string quartets and stuff like that. I think cello is one of the nicest sounding instruments in the world.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. My father-in-law is a sucker for the cello. If you put that on a record, it's automatically like goes up a couple notches.
Is that cello? Oh, I like this.
This is good, no matter what they say.
Yeah.
Oh man. So have you found anything um, that's been kind of challenging outside in the real world touring and stuff? One thing I noticed, I'll put this out there. You guys are harder to recognize without your stage costumes or whatever you want to call them.
That's the
So does
way.
that give you a little more freedom to be able to walk around in public and be like, no, I'm not from the band?
100%, and that's the way that's the way I like it, anyways. And I'm sure the other guys do too. It's really nice to know people are there for the show, and they come on, they see you, and they like seeing you in your attire, and it's just like a big spectacle for them. But it's really nice to just be walking around and not worry about that kind of stuff too, because we're very ordinary people. You know,
Yeah,
just like everyone does, and it's the same old thing.
right.
Um, and it's nice. It's really nice to be able to go about your day, and I don't know. It's nice to. I know I keep saying nice right now, but it's really great to meet people and them not know that as well,
Yeah,
like what you do or anything like that, and you just yeah, you get to know people a little bit better. There's no like weird wall there
right. It's
or
better
anything
if
like.
they don't. I don't know.
Yeah,
It can get weird, I'm sure.
sometimes yeah, or some people want to treat you differently, whether that's better or worse. Some people think that you're gonna be have an attitude or some sort of ego because you play music or something like that. So
Yeah,
yeah, it can be challenging. That actually can be challenging sometimes. Is just trying to exist in certain places without people having a pre notion of who or what they think you are.
right. They hear your music and already know who you are when they really don't. But
Right. Yeah, and a lot of people think that. A lot of people, and not just with us, but with social media and stuff like this. You can get pretty close with people without actually knowing them. You see their life and what they're doing all the time, and you think you know them, but you don't. But you start to I've kind of noticed people start to put in their brain like they're almost friends with them in a weird way.
yeah,
Yeah.
I met you in person, so I think we can. I'm say you're my friend now.
Yeah, you're good, man. You're good.
Some psycho on the internet.
Yeah.
One time I went to this was like right before COVID hit. I went to Hattie B's in Nashville, and it was me and Sierra Farrell. And we're eating fried chicken, just hanging out, and this little old lady comes over and starts talking to us, and she must have caught wind of something about who she was one way 1 minute, and then like 10 to 15 minutes later, when she figured out through somebody talking behind us or something who she was or what she did for a living, it was like a total different switch. She like must have like Googled it real quick to make sure who it was. And then it was just weird.
It is. Well, here's a good one. At a lot of shows, especially shows at kind of smaller venues where you have to walk through the crowd to get to the stage or to the back area. Sometimes it's hard to get. Sometimes there's just no back doors to get in some of these venues.
Right.
The amount of times I've been like pushed walking through a crowd where people just look like they want to fight me is is like I can't count it on two hands. Like it's a lot. Like you're just walking through, like, excuse me, trying to get up there, like, fuck you, man, this is my spot. You're like, yeah, that's cool. I'm just trying to get over here. Then you're on stage and they're just like, oh fuck. So it's amazing how that can change, yeah. We're talking to people outside and I'm not wearing my hat. Some people won't even look at you when you're having a conversation and they're like half listening. Then they
Yeah.
hear who you are, and then they're like, "Oh, well, this is much more interesting all of a sudden." Like,
Now what you say makes sense.
yeah, now I want to hear what you have to say. Yeah,
I mean, you guys could have been like, Slipknot and just wore masks.
yeah. Well, I didn't realize how much wearing a hat would be a good disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I'm sure it gets a little weird out there, but kind of take the bad with the good.
I was gonna say it's not always bad either. Like a lot of it's really good. That's just talking about weird moments because sometimes you run into someone and they really want to tell you how you help them or sorry, I'm just gonna close this.
Yeah.
Yeah, how you help them or how
I
much
would,
you inspire them or something, you know?
yeah, I would like to think that 80-90% of the time it's going to be good.
Yeah, it's definitely mostly good. There's just
We're
those
just
odd
talking
times
about the
that
bad
stand
stuff.
out. You know, they just stand out so much more, right? For some reason. It's just that
Right.
squeaky wheel. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, no, but it's great. It's really nice. And you know, it's really weird too, because a lot of times when, you know, no one knows you and you got no money, you gotta pay lots for everything. And then people start to know you, then they wanna and you start making money and they want to give you everything. It's really weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, yeah, it happens all with anyone that makes it like on the higher end of celebrity status, I guess. Like they want you to wear their clothes, rep this brand, whatever, take this, take that.
Yeah.
So it's
It's
interesting.
bizarre, but it makes sense in a lot of ways, but it's still really bizarre. Like what a backward system.
Yeah. Instead
Yeah.
of like, here, I want to support you guys.
Yeah.
Take this at the beginnings. Was it looking back now, like did you see this coming? Like did you think it would grow to this size?
No, we had zero expectations. Our like we knew that when we started playing and we could see people enjoying it, that there was something there.
Yeah,
Um, but our expectations were still, you know, work hard, see what happens.
right.
That's as much as you can do at the end of the day, right? You don't want to rely on getting noticed. You want to rely on working hard and having fun, and then
Yeah,
hopefully it pays off at the end.
right.
Yeah.
Well, from my point of view, everything looks golden. So,
Thanks, man. It's good.
uh, is there one particular song that you can go ahead and mention now that you think's the standout, or one that you're really proud of, whether it's just the sound of it or the lyrical content, or just one that sticks out in your mind that we should keep an eye out for, or an ear out for, I guess I should say.
You mean on the new album?
Yeah.
Um, well, I guess one that turned out even better than I thought. It's kind of it's a slower song, but it's gonna be called or it's called "A Place I Hardly Know." Um, really happy with how that turned out, and every time that I listen to it, I'm okay with everything that's there. A lot of times with recording, you go and you put stuff down, or for me, anyways, I go and I put stuff down with the guys, and I'm always happy with their parts. They do such amazing work. But then I'll start to criticize my lyrics or how I sang it or the structure of the song that I could have I should have went here instead and stuff like that. But for that one, I'm just quite content with it. It's a nice, easy listening song. Yeah, and it's and the lyrics are kind of about touring, not necessarily as a musician, but just someone who's always gone.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
And
So,
what's the title again?
a place I hardly know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome. I can't wait to hear it.
yeah. I
Or hear
hope
the
you.
whole album. We listen to a lot at work, and I told you I do taxidermy work, so there's a lot of times where I'll be stationary, like sitting in one spot, working on like a deer head or something, and I can just put on the music and just listen all the way through.
Hmm.
Uh, so that's nice. That's where I listen to most of my content. Is at work, which I'm lucky to
Yeah,
get.
that is good. And the best part about that is, like you said, listen all the way through. One of my favorite things is an album over a song, right?
Right.
Taking the album, chucking it on, and listening to it for what it is. And sometimes you can find correlation within the album, which makes the songs actually stand out more. Um, it's just fun. It's fun to
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
The idea of the record. I mean, I got a stack back here. Like the concept behind the record, a full concept, instead of just here's a bunch of junk songs and here's a single in there that's supposed to sell really well to sell the rest of the record.
Hmm.
I like that kind of thought that artists put into it. So I'm always digging for a lot of the older records that do that.
and there's a lot of them that do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the record's great. Actually, last year, vinyl outsold CDs.
Did it?
Yeah.
That's,
So, I
that's
mean, it makes
amazing.
sense in a way. Well, to a degree, it makes sense because a lot of vehicles don't get CD players anymore. And I'm sure a lot of people don't have CD players in their homes anymore because you can listen MP3,
Yeah,
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth a speaker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And then you got options like Apple Music, YouTube Music, Spotify Title, Deezer, all these different things that you can play whatever you want through these speakers. You don't have to go put in a CD that scratch that skips. You don't have to go flip a record. It's just constant playing. So
right. I
yeah,
get the whole streaming aspect, but how does the record take the place of the CD after it was gone? Then now it's back.
yeah, and it
You know
came
what I mean?
back
That
well.
if you're taking streaming out of it, and it's just them two battling.
It's pretty crazy. Well, records are more of a nerd thing, right? And I mean that in a very good way.
Yeah,
Like there's record players out there that are worth just like 50,000 plus. And then you just got to buy your tube amps, and everyone starts nerding out about that and all the power that goes into this. And then you got to get your good speakers because records sound different than CDs. Some will say better, some will say worse, but I mean, there's just so much more care put into record collecting and record listeners.
right.
I have found, anyways, with people I talk to.
Yeah. You collect?
Yeah, I got lots of records. I would like to collect more. The problem is on tour.
Yeah.
I'm usually coming home with so much shit anyways. It's hard to I don't want it to get ruined. I would hate to buy a nice album and it's ruined. So I usually either if I get them and I'm like, no, I need this record, I'll find a safe place, but I can't grab like a stack. I can do like one or two. Or else I just order online. Or go to a record shop locally and
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's weird the whole circle of how that all came back around. I
Hmm.
mean, I love the original idea. Like I said, I went to art school, so like I love album art. So, you got something this big versus the little CDs. Uh that's kind of part of it. Uh
Yeah.
then the whole other part of it, I feel like I got to control myself because it, like you said, it can get very expensive real quick.
And heavy.
And yeah,
Records are heavy, man. If you lift crates of records, it's heavy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I got all my grandma's old Elvis records,
Yeah, that's nice.
all kinds of random shit. Yeah, it's fun though. I love it. It's a good way to support. Like I try and support all the artists, and I don't really buy that much merch. It's more I'll buy their records, and I
That's
usually wait to do it in person because a lot of times I can get them signed.
yeah.
But it just depends. But
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I don't buy a ton of merch at shows, but I almost always pick up a record, whether it's straight from them or ordering it or from a record store. So
right, I'll tell you what I'd like to get into. That's another. I got too many damn hobbies, man. And I'd like to get a jukebox and start filling that puppy up with some classics that I like. But
what a great idea.
add it to the list.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Have you seen WB Walker's? He's got a nice setup in his little barn.
No, I've never seen it in person. I've just kind of seen pictures here and there of
Oh
it.
yeah,
So,
I haven't seen it in person. I keep telling him next time I'm out that way I'm gonna stop by, but I haven't made it over there yet. But he's got a nice little setup there. He's got his own, basically a little private little haven, away from the house, get away from the kids. He can just go in his little barn and just nerd out and listen to music and drink a couple cold ones.
hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what I try to do here, but it won't last for so long.
Chase it down with a nice cold glass of milk.
That's what it looks like, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, with ice. No, this is like a salted caramel bourbon
Oh,
mixed in a coffee.
Shit, that sounds
So I need a
delicious.
little pick me up. I need some coffee, I guess. But
Yeah.
uh, it's good. We just got it down in. I'll go ahead and plug them. Bard Distillery. They're down in Kentucky. Benjamin Todd's good friends with those guys, and we went there, and they help with the Muhlenberg mission deal that he's putting on, to where basically giving a place to underprivileged or less fortunate kids to have a place to go play and learn music for free, or they'll
Mm.
even provide instruments. This is
Nice.
all still in the works, but they got a building. They already got a lot of funding and stuff. That they're making it happen. It's going to be pretty cool. But the guy that runs that distillery, he's a big part of it too. And so,
That's good.
yeah. All right, man. Well, like I said, I appreciate you sitting here and chatting. I guess one last thing would be, what could we end on a good note here? How about out of all this stuff, what could you say that's the best thing that's happened? That's come from the Dead South. Like, what are you most proud of? I guess you could say.
You know, that's a great question. I think that there's a few things, but one standout thing is I'm really happy and proud of our fan base community that's built. They seem like really kind people who are very inclusive. Um, I really appreciate that. They call themselves cousins, which is great.
Yeah,
It's nice. Like they're just calling each other family basically, which I love, and they do that. A lot of places we go, there'll be cousin meetups, which sounds hilarious, but it's really nice. You get together and strangers who kind of know each other from this group, who have found
yeah.
a connection to our music and are now a community, and they share things with each other. I'm sure there's been a lot of relationships that have started,
Like
but all
true
that stuff.
cousins.
Yeah, like true cousins. So that's been really nice. It's been nice to see, and I hope that continues. As much as we sing about drinking, fighting here and there,
Yeah,
it's not about that. It's about having a good time and being kind to people. At the end of the day, that's the best thing you can do. So
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I follow the Facebook group that's on there, and everyone's calling each other cousins. It's you definitely have a great fan base. I would say that for sure. That there's people that just like stuff or here and there. It's like you have like a diehard following for sure. Dead South fans are. I think they're there for the long haul. So
Yeah, that's amazing. There's a core of them, and hopefully that can, continue for, forever. I'll never say we're going to be like the Grateful Dead, but it'd be nice to know that whenever you want to go play somewhere, people want to come hear you.
yeah, yeah. Do you ever think of that too? Like, hey, this could all be over by next year. Like, no one wants to hear us anymore or something.
All the time. So I just, a lot of times when I get in conversations with people, I just kind of say, they ask how everything's going, and I say, I explain things. They say, well, that's great. I'm saying, yeah, we're just riding the wave. That
Yeah,
wave can come down at any time. And, waves come down and then they pick up again. So you never know. But like I said, we're one foot in front of the other kind of guys. So we're just always trying to push forward and see what happens.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Nate. Well, thanks again. Tell the guys I said hi, and like I said, I'll be at the next show that comes around this
Hell yeah,
area.
man. Looking forward to it.
So, all right, everyone. Thanks for tuning. Share this episode around. Share it to your cousins. All that good stuff. We
Share it
got
to
we
your
got to wait
moms, your
till
grandmas.
we don't have that long. I mean, January will be here before we know it. So we got some fresh tunes from the Dead South real soon. So
Hell yeah.